Okay, so as far as a bluegrass country style, um, there are a few things that you can do. One of the general aspects of bluegrass is the slower tempo, and so instead of singing something like you usually get something more slow, more shuffly, like so that's one of the things you can do is slow things down. The other thing you can do is add a little bit of shuffle or swing, like your eighth notes instead of being one and would become one and two and three and that gives it a little bit of a swing to it, like. Gives a little bit more lilt to it, which is more characteristic of this style, I think, that bluegrass or gospel calls for. Another thing you can do is you can add the sixth. A lot of times we like to add the second to a chord, which is just, for the key of C, for example, it would be C, D, E, and G. We're just adding that D, the second above the root. But for more of this gospel-y style, we can add the sixth. So in the key of G, or the G triad, we would add G, B, D, and add the E. And a lot of that times, it works like this. So you can add that sixth to some of your chords, and it gives you just a little bit more edge to the chord. And one of the other things you can do is kind of do this pa 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 swing pattern in your left hand, where you have octave, chord, 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 chord. And one of the last things that I like to do for this particular style, and my wife likes it when I put these extra notes in there, is add a little bit of grace notes, chromatic grace notes, and you kind of get a little... So you kind of have this... I use the second a lot of the triad, and but sometimes you can... if you're in a first inversion triad like this, I'm in G, so I've got B, D, and then G on top. I'll grace note up to that sixth, which remember is E. So basically you can slow things down a little bit. You can take those 8 notes, and instead of keeping them straight, bum, 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 you can swing them or lilt them a little bit. You can also add some of those grace notes, or you can add the sixth to the triad, and it just gives it a little bit more oomph to the chord, and maybe you get something like this. And there you have a little bit of what I would call the bluegrass gospel style.